Hey there, everybody. A little boss gags. You gotta love it, man. How are y'all doing? So good to see you. It says we're live, and I am assuming I'm alive. You're alive. We're all alive. And so it's good to have you. We're all alive. And man, I tell you, it's a great album, Boss Skaggs, 1969, and there is some wonderful sax solos in there, and the backup singers he had were fabulous. Anyway, I digress. So, hello everybody, what's up? Hello, all the moderators. Hey, David Castle, how you doing? I saw. Let's see, Prophecy Theorist, how are you doing? Spirit Woman, gracious, thank you. Who else? Delta Hook, what's up? Emperor Rex, and I was hey, is that Biznugs? I like that. All right, that's cool. Beloved Abstract, so good to see you, Loretta and Kent. Good to see you. Lost in Space, good to see you as well. Just in a, I love jazz. It's just played it when I was younger, and just anyway, get you going. Hey, Martin and Heidi, what's up? Grandpa Brian and Tammy and Doris, Kenneth, what's going on? Street Mom, how you doing? Emerald Eagle, good to see you. And Kelly and Danielle and Rodriguez. It's going to have Jennifer on, and got our signals crossed up, but she's going to be on next week. And I am so proud of Jenny. She's becoming quite the activist in her community, and I love it. That's putting it out in action, baby. So, favor to you, Jenny, favor to all of you, favor upon all of us. Favor means to be empowered to prosper, and prosper means to be well in all areas, healed financially, physically, mentally, soulish, bodily. Yeah. Yeah. So that goes with the Bosto, and always got my Sky Pilot here. Big hug. Hey, this is catching on. Someone told me, sent me, someone else is doing this, and I think it should go all over the world. World needs it bad. Hey, Joe Sapien, what's up? Good to see you. Jenny is a sister goddess. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. So I'm looking forward to that. What else is happening? Happy birthday if you got one. Tonight over on artistfirst.com, 10 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. if you live in the Mountain West, where I do. Yeah, the Steiger perspective. Check it out. Yes, good one tonight. So what else has happened? Let's see. I got some clarification. So it's July 3rd. I think it's 10 p.m. over the Milky Way Soul Tribe channel with Robert V. There is, I don't call it a celebration. The card deck, Soul Tribe card deck is done. So pretty far out. Into thin air. How you doing? I like that. That's cool. That's a cool handle. I like that. Mr. Smith is in the room. Good to see you, Mick Mac, as well. Wow, there is so many. So it is okay. Just want to make sure if looks like we're all good. All right. So what else is happening? Lots happening. Got yesterday's show was, man, interesting. So got some new material. This just came in. It's a thick little sucker too, come to think about it. The controllers. Who really controls planet Earth? Let me tell you something about these books. To the straight people, they would never read this. They'd go, no. Blows the whole construct. Hey, Crystal Shaman, good to see you. Ed, good to see you. Bosto and John Lee. Hey, well, thank you, sir. One of the originals. We're going to have to get together, and we are going to get together. I'm telling you, we're putting it together. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. It's going to happen this fall. Anyway, these books, they're gems. They really are. They contain information, and it's not that, everything written is gospel. Always question everything. But what I have found in my lifetime is that there are golden nuggets in these that, oh, they're I swear they're like cosmic triggers. How many of you remember the movie Tomorrowland? Um, and if you remember, George Clooney was in it. Um, the whole thing about Tomorrowland was that we found out that time is not linear, that time is a dimension. And as a dimension, it is not single dimension in scope. It is multi-dimension. Hey, Isby, what's happening? And there are triggers. Their thing was that, if you've got the little pin thing, then if you hit it, you touched it, boom, baby, you're in the future, but you're staying in the present. It's a really, I love that movie. I mean, it was one of those that, I dug it. It was a little bit on the green thing, but hey, always take everything in stride. If you can remain flexible in your mind and your attitude, and the thing about getting older is that the trap is that you get set. And so I'm constantly ask Lynn, my wife, always, I'm not going to allow my core to become so solidly founded to a single construct. That's dangerous, because if that core ever shatters with a construct, deteriorates, I'm telling you, brother and sister, that's a dark place. They call it the dark night of the soul. Ain't even comparative to that. When your freaking core gets shattered, and when I'm talking about core, I'm talking about your core beliefs. We all have them. It's how you're in this reality. And when those core beliefs get shattered and you're left to try to rebuild, I'm telling you, that is one of the most darkest journeys you will ever be on. And the good thing is, hey, Jenny, I just told everyone you're going to be on next week, hon. And the thing is, many of us in this soul tribe group, in this group particularly, I think we all have had our core beliefs shattered. And when there's no more safety net, when there's no more ability to hold on to something, when you don't have the support group, that's why churches, temples, and what have you flourish, is that because it's kind of like, social collective thing. And that always feels good because we're social beings. But I'm telling you, when the safety net is gone, when all the support structure is gone, the friends are gone, the money is gone, everything is gone, you really find out who and what you are. I don't know why I said that. Someone needed to hear that. I guess that's the best thing. So think about this. I think we could all agree that we are, in essence, energy. Now, whether you want to tag it as a soul, a spirit, consciousness, whatever, it's still fundamentally energy, right? So imagine this. Now I sound like Rod Sterling. Imagine this, a place where, and you're going, okay. But seriously, don't call me Shirley either. So if we're energy beings, would it not stand to be logical that if you're in the next dimension that's primarily a spiritual dimension, I'm sure it has physicality, because we have spirituality here in the physical world, which tells me that there's physicality in the next world. But if we are, in fact, basic units of energy that somehow have a self-identification, you would be attracted to, let's say, electricity. And let's say you had a planet that had electrical grid, both natural and artificial. I'm going somewhere with this. So if ghost, poltergeist, spirits, demons, angels, however you want to tag it, would they not find our electrical grid an excellent conduit? No pun intended. Yes, there was. As a means of travel? Think about this. Got the weirdest buzz in my and it's me too. Anyway, think about it. If you're in the ethereal realm, you have the perfect superhighway. Speaking of which, yeah. And an electrical grid system would be the ideal conduit for interacting in between different realms. Something to think about. Just putting it out there. And I have no idea why that does that. The activity must be strong in here. Yes, the energy. Luke, the force is strong here. And that's getting irritating. That keeps on. I'm going to have to retire that. So, Willow Dreams. I like that. How are you doing? I like that. Oh, Jenny, you see? Yep. Keep that in mind, Jenny. I'm telling you what, I wish we hadn't gotten all of our, and, I take the responsibility on that. But yes, Jenny writes, wasn't there a British electrician that said something about his hesitation as to what the electrical world would mean? Boom, baby. Tesla. I think he got it as well. Uh-huh. Yep, yep, yep. So, Nina says the mystic, they are communicating. Yeah, yeah. Think about this. There's so much right in front of us. Seriously, there's so much freaking in front of us that it goes woof right over people's head. I ain't got nothing to do with it. So, talking about mugshots, doing the prep walk, because they're here. And I tell you, I had a weirdest dream. The more we keep talking about this, the more we show their pictures. Listen, everything is channeled. People say, well, do you really think that that's what they look like? I don't know. How would you draw different species? I mean, the only aliens I've ever met are humans, because they definitely seem to be alien in nature in many ways. So, let's get into it, because there are books, and I have more of them. We're going to get into these. And the first one we're going to get into is a book that I have found delightful. Let me pull it up. Now, this is on Kindle, so I don't have this one in PDF form, folks. Just that's just the way it is, as they would say. And that is the way it is. So let me get this blown up so we can all see it a little bit better. And let me remove this panel to over there. And now we've got it. All right. So this is the Book of Alien Races. It's a delightful little ditty. I have found it to be informative. Again, you have to remember to be open-minded. We don't know everything, and many people think that because they are of certain nationality or certain creed, etc., that they seem to have, above knowledge of everyone else. I don't think so. But that's why we need everyone else, because the little bits of information everybody else has, hey, when we put it all together, it's a masterpiece. It's like a good bouillabaisse that, oh man, Anyway, I'm quit talking about food. We had to do a food show. Anyway, as you can see, this is Dante Santori. He talks about a Ukrainian guy named Petro that he had met. And as they go through their story, they start talking about how a certain person basically got these documents. And I'm not going to go through all the narrative on here, but it is interesting how this book came about. It says, in fact, I'll read a little bit. That's when they found the book. It was his uncle or someone had died, and so they were going through his stuff. You know, when you die, you're going to leave all your stuff. What are you going to do with all your stuff when everybody else has your stuff? I mean, can you imagine going on the other side and you're stark ass naked, baby? You ain't got nothing. Yeah. Why is it that all ghosts have clothes on? I don't know. Maybe if we were natural born nudists, all the ghosts would be naked. Yeah, think about that. Anyway, he said that as they were looking at the book, he said when he called his father later that year and asked him about the book, he was filled on the missing information. Now, this is really kind of cool because I'm going to get ahead here because the pictures are really what we're here to look at. So, I want to read this one part, what they say. The lost copy in the 1980s, copy of an edition of this book was found on a field in Burята, that's East Siberia. That's cold. That copy ended up in the hands of a KGB agent with his friends in the media. And after the collapse of the USSR, some of the information and images of the book were leaked, probably most likely sold. Years later, the information and some of the images started appearing in TV series and video games. Mass Effect being the most well-known. All right, so this is what it was said. This is to the SMERSH agents. It is your duty to thoroughly investigate all events regarding any reports of visitations or incidents concerning creatures from other planets. I like how they term creatures, not ETs, not aliens, as well as with non-terrestrial creatures that dwell on the planet at the present time. And what they're saying, folks, the cryptids are here. And, you know, we're getting more and more evidence that what we think is the animal kingdom, we only see one little sliver of it. It's your duty to immediately present you to your superiors in charge any material evidence gathered during your investigation. It's your duty to keep absolute secrecy and concealment. Yeah. It only works as long as you have the country, right? It says the Book of Alien Races is both an instruction manual and a source of information to be used now and in the future until the day it will be needed no more. When would a book like this no longer be needed? Full disclosure. When with humans, investigate, interrogate, gather physical evidence. When with aliens, so this is what supposedly the Russian agents were taught, engage with them, follow them, learn from them. That's a complete reversal of what Americans westernized, you know, they've programmed the television. It's to television. And they did. By the way, you're forbidden to ever show this. If you do, we're gonna get you. All right, so the alien races. Let's start the prep walk. This is, and I'll butcher these names, and so will you, but we'll have fun doing it. This looks like the Al Gorluk, aka the Builders. They come from the constellation Sculptor. They derive from an ancient race of reptilians that has gone extinct. They are specialists at building ships and other devices needed for deep space traveling. They are also space travelers themselves, searching for new raw materials. Last seen near Tokyo in 2005. Excuse me. Come on, Steiger. They're getting drunk with you driving the bus like this. Anyway, they can live up to 230 years. The next one is the clearly to Kurt. They come from the constellation Vela near the star Shuhal al-Moloth. They grow up to 2 meters, about 6 feet, and live for up to 200 years. They can shapeshift and are very hard to detect. When they shapeshift, the only thing they cannot change is the size and color of their eyes. They are one of the oldest known races. They do not abduct humans. Last seen on Earth in July 2008. The Palladians, we all know about them. They come from the solar system surrounding the Pleiades stars, more precisely from the planet Era near the star Taygeta. And I know that the gal, I forget her name, that she was channeling for the longest time certain key figures of the Palladian systems. I found her channel very interesting. They are associated with spiritual growth. They can grow up to 2.5 meters, 8 feet. They practice sex cultivation. The distinct difference between their sexual expressions and their sensual emotions. Now, I have been hesitant to ever do a session on sex magic. I have numerous books on it. It's very powerful if you use it. I'm just telling you. If you're looking to see materialization, you need to learn sex magic. There's a reason for it, and there's a difference between sexual lust and harnessing the energy that is through the expression of sexuality. Two different things. Their ships are known as beam ships. Although regularly visiting Earth, they have remained mostly silent since 10,000 BC. They are one of the oldest known races. They continue to develop the necessary mental skills to eventually reach their goal of an even higher spiritual state. So what we learned yesterday, they're obviously aiming for a type 2, type 3 civilization. And now that we know what that means, it's easier for us. This is the Kilimara-Uk. They come from the constellation Volans. The sighting of this race on Earth are rare, and they are considered as a mystery race. It is said that they were forbidden to visit Earth around about the year 1000 BC, but they did not stop visiting Earth completely because of their allies, the race, the Matri. We're going to learn more about the Matri a whole lot. I have studied this particular race. It's interesting. We'll get into it. Last seen on Earth, December of 1989. This is the Kurs, aka gods of land, believed to be related to the race of the Anunnaki. They come from the planet Dilmunds. Yeah, there we go. They are the race behind the story of Enlil and Enlil. Creepy looking things, aren't they? They are directly involved in the development of the human race during our early stages. After centuries being away from Earth, they have recently returned. Their own leader is among the most recent visitors. They will now stay on Earth permanently. They will have an important role in the years to come. Does your skin start to crawl a little bit? Like, I don't like this, even the construct of the context. It jacks with your psychicness, doesn't it? They spend time immersed in a precious gold-like liquid that presumably extends their lifespan. The Hav Anu Chondros. Like I said, you spell it, say it like you want. They come from the galaxy Sextans Dwarf SPH. First visited Earth in 934 AD in the area that we now know as Romania. They often abduct and kill humans. They also drain and drink the blood of humans as well as the blood of animals. They are responsible for the myths of the vampires. Several human governments know and accept their actions. The human bodies, as they use, are never returned. Last sighted in Scotland in 1996. It's kind of like that movie Skyline. How many of you have seen that one? Interesting take on off-worlders. This take is Earth is attacked by a race of cyber beings, but what they particularly feed off of is the cerebral cortex. They feed off of human brains. Yeah. And we got our ass kicked. This is the way the movie goes. Anyway, that's a pretty scary situation. This is the Mazorak. They come from the constellation Cameo-Pardalis. From the 1300s to the early 1900s, our calendar, they were not allowed to leave their planet by other alien races. You've been very bad. They are a very violent and predatory race. Oh, like us. They are known to be allies of the race of the Matri. These Matris are sons of bitches. I'm telling you, they're pricks. They grow up to 1.6 meters, about 5 feet tall. Last seen on Earth, August of 2001. This is the Al-Grualik. You have to almost know Klingon. It helps it, doesn't it? They come from the constellation Cetus near the Danab Ketos Shamalai. I think that's Shimala. Although they are often confused with reptilian races, they do not share anything with them except their appearance. Their height is usually around 2 meters, 6 feet, and they can live up to 350 years. This is one of 21 races that are known to have more than 2 genders, sexes. I mean, yes, technically, we know even in the sacred scriptures, it talks of 3 genders. So, makes sense. This race has 8 different genders, and all of them can reproduce with each other. Well, I have to say, I'd like to see that. That would be an interesting biology class. The purpose for their visits to Earth is unknown. I don't know. If you got 8 different genders, I don't know. Maybe, some kind of sexual experiments. I don't know. Last sighting was near Lima, Peru in December of 2004. Holy crap. The messengers. Well, where have we heard of that? Oh, that's the angels, right? No image provided. Probably the most enigmatic of all alien races. Not much is known about them. They visit Earth around every 300 years. Next visit is due any time now. Do you get the idea that we're like running into this freaking, mass meeting? Like everyone in the freaking galaxy has gotten the invitation, except for us humans, but we are apparently the stage. Let's see. They do not reveal themselves. They do not make direct contact with humans. They leave carvings, drawings, and writings on rocks, as well as symbols and historical monuments. Their ships have the shape of a teardrop and are silver in color. Well, isn't that interesting? I think that is pretty cool. Ramai, they come from Chapella, the constellation Argaea. known to be a very peaceful race. They try to coexist with humans. They tried to coexist. I bet that didn't turn out well. I don't know. They created the Mayan civilization, the culture, by placing humans from different places on Earth in South America. They are a race of scientists. They taught the Mayans about astronomy and time. They left Earth when the Mayans were at their highest splendor. After that, the Mayans started the well-known blood sacrifices in their honor. This race has been on Earth many times after that. Last sighting was Bora Bora in 2001. Got a particular nice glow about them, don't they? This is, and I'm not even go, the Mu Von Ta Von K Fox Fix. I don't know. The shining ones. Let's just go with that. They come from the constellation Vulpecula. They have met with at least 2 U.S. presidents, as well as with the USSR, now Russia leaders, and some high-ranking officials. They supply limited amounts of their technology to humans in exchange for the freedom to conduct abductions. They do not involve other alien races in this process. They had a big role in the Siberian and Tibetan cultures. They still have bases in those areas hidden in the north face of mountains. They have colonized over 40 planets outside our solar system so far. Well, you got to get the material from somewhere. Yeah. This is the rock. Of the 58 races described here in this book, this is the race that last visited Earth that we know of so far only 5 times. Oh, they've visited us the least, excuse me. They visited the area we know as the Middle East, and that created the belief in the jinn or the genies in Islamic mythology. According to some Muslim scholars, they inhabit an unseen world in a dimension beyond the existing dimensions of our universe. According to reports from other alien races, they stopped visiting Earth because their immune systems could not cope with Earth's fauna and flora. Now, that's a very interesting take. In the process of disclosure, we're learning is what many have postulated that, and for instance, the Project Splendora, where they actually took military personnel into other planets in an exchange program, what we found out was certain humans couldn't, they could not live or cope with other atmospheres, and particularly with the fauna and flora in those other alien worlds. And it would make sense that that would be the same here. I mean, how many of you suffer from allergies? Yeah. Last recorded visit was 712 AD. And some of these times are interesting because they correlate into this whole missing time thing. The Invisibles. Well, it would stand to be logical that they would not have a picture of an invisible person. This race is known to have been seen near high security areas. They are almost completely invisible to the naked eye. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you why I can believe this. Go back and look at my videos on the tsunami that took place there in Fukushima in Japan. I have shown you the Nagai. And it's amazing how many people just will not believe what that they just can't accept that. But we know that there are intelligent creatures that are not bipedals, that have the ability literally to become invisible. Go back and check it out. Both the US and Russian military have developed technology that allows them to track them down on radar. Apparently just the ships. 3 things are known about this race. 1, they leave a sour smell when they are near. 2, when they are near windows, you can see their reflections as a smudge-like figure have been caught on CCTV footage. Bet your ass they have. And I've told you the program that I look at, they've caught them many times. In fact, I don't think we're really catching so much humans that have died and gone over to the other side, as much as that we're actually capturing what we call demons, shadow people, these other beings that can only be seen in reflections or through glass. These are the aliens. They live here, been living here, still do. When many dogs or only one start barking with no apparent reason, it is possible that they are nearby. They are considered to be the reptoids or reptilians. They come from the constellation Mensa. Purpose of their presence is unknown. And anytime I see unknown, it means suck to be human, because it seems like we seem to be the appetite. This is the Almaholuk Striat 163. They were forced to leave Earth after losing a battle against reptoids in ancient India, date unknown, which they have been visiting for around 200 years. They have resumed their visits to Earth in 1948. Technologically, this is a very advanced race. Their ships are often invisible to radar and to the human eye, and they wear some sort of clothing that makes them invisible as well. You see, that's the problem. Let me tell you, humans now know how to become invisible. Our military has been using it for the last 22 years. We first developed it in the Iraqi war. We've been using it now with alien technology in Afghanistan. And let me tell you, we will be back in Afghanistan. Afghanistan is actually where much of the alien technology is being used against humans. It's just fact. They have, again, supposedly they come from Jupiter or from one of its moons. Last sighting was in Portugal, May 2005. And again, this book is several years old, and so who knows? Isn't life strange? This is the Nana, no image. The members of this race are the cause of why humans coined the term Martians. They come from the constellation Gemini. They have had permanent bases on Mars for thousands of years, where they mine some sort of gold-like material. First recorded visit to Earth was in the year 1235 BC in Japan. Last sighting was in Madagascar in 2003. Wonder if they were part of the nuclear war that took place on Mars. You know. All right, this is the Indugatuk. They're AKA the tall whites. That's a freaky looking thing. But of course, I was told that they look at humans as pretty ugly. I guess humans are a pretty ugly race to the other races. They can't stand looking at us. Costanza can't stand you. This race has several bases on and in the moon, where they mine an unknown material. Well, that makes sense. We know someone's mining up there. We got the pictures. They use slaves to do most of their work. Interesting thing over on Naughty Beaver's channel, he had a great interview of a guy that was unfortunately, I don't know if recruited into it, but the real Space Force, which is primarily dominated by some bad off-worlders, and have a pronounced German Nazi theme. I'll put it that way. And it's rumored that that's why the Germans allowed the war to end, was they made a deal. Otherwise, I contend the lucky breaks that we got The Allies maybe weren't as lucky as we think, but I digress. They use slaves to do most of the works. These slaves are extremely well taken care of, and the Ndugdok see them as indispensable. Now, that too bad they still call them slaves, huh? Their operations on and in the moon are very secretive. They are in almost permanent contact with high-ranking officials from the United States, China, and the Russian Federation governments. They have the ability to shapeshift into an almost perfect human form. They are also known as the Men in Black, as they use special dark suits to protect their skin when in human shape while conducting special operations on Earth. Maybe they're looking for the mining the H3. Who knows? Isn't this interesting? This is the Keel-Lamite R, or known as the KR. They come from the constellation Crux near the Garrux. It is a very hard race to track down or spot. Both the United States and Russian military have developed a special camera and radar system that allows us to spot them when they are on Earth. But even then, they have only been sighted 8 times. The purpose of their presence is unknown. When they are sighted, it is usually in the area known as the Bermuda Triangle. Isn't that interesting? Yes, indeed. 2017. They have only contacted humans one time in the USSR in 1935. According to reports, they spoke some kind of Slavic dialect. They left a written message with about 10 sentences. They come from the galaxy that we identify as UDFJ 39546284. Estimated distance from Earth, our standard, is 13.2 billion light years. They travel by using what other alien races call wormholes, which allow them to bend space. Note from myself and Petro. On the original ARB, our copy edition, 9 of the sentences left by this race were blacked out. The only one that is not is this one, 2017-2022. Now, if you're like me, you're thinking of, the Julian calendar, 2017 to 2022. According to reports, they were tall, had blonde long hair, and smelled like flowers. I love the flower girl. Yeah, anyway. Well, I don't know what 2017 to 2022 means, but who knows? These are the El Manuk. They come from the constellation Crux near the star Alnar. They are one of the most peaceful races. They co-create the alliance of the 5 races, the Council of 5, but are not part of it. The Council of 5 are a group of 5 alien races that protect humans against less peaceful races. They coined the sentence, 5 universes, 2,500 species, 1 race. I can dig these people. The council is supposed to meet on Earth during the last 10 days of August of 2013. The reason being the fact that Earth has been receiving too many visits from new races in the past 500 years. There's a theory that says our technology attracts more and more off-worlders. And in fact, we have probably been the harbinger of our own harm by sending out things like Voyager 1. But the other thing is, with radio and television, it's out there. Anyone with a lower intelligence of understanding simple communications on a galactic scale, well, just watch our television. It's a great way to monitor us. This is the Jin Hantik. Maintains sporadic contact with 3 Earth governments, but not the most powerful ones, not the USA, Russia, or China. And wouldn't that make sense? I mean, if you know you got the big assholes, the 3 assholes that are running the world, well, you probably want to go to the ones that really don't want to have anything to do with them, which makes sense. More flexibility. Considered to have a violent nature by other races. Okay. Don't know what violent particularly means, but anyway, they've been visiting Earth for over 3,000 years. They come from the constellation Ho-Ro-Log-Gurum and are known to have as allies here's the Matri again. Last sighting near Houston, Texas, February 1st, 2003. Holy crap. Anyone seen that down in Houston? Let us know. This is Jeff Foxworthy. No, I think it's Jeff Fox. They come from the constellation Indus. They are known by the other races as peacemakers. They are very advanced technologically. Their first sighting on Earth dates back to 1500 BC. They met with JFK 3 weeks before he was killed. They have also, around the same time, met with other human world leaders. They have not been seen on Earth since JFK's death. In 1965, they gave a message to human leaders that ran countries with nuclear capabilities, content unknown. See, it's becoming very clear that many of these races have reached out. I told you of the 2 delegations that are reported to have met with the United States, Russia, China, and there were a couple of others involved in that. And one of the governments killed the members of one of the delegations, murdered them. And this has pissed off 2 races that have vowed to take revenge on humans. We have screwed up. Our leaders have made some serious miscalculations in dealing with the off-worlds. Instead of hiding it, and the imbeciles that most bureaucrats are, they should have put the artisans, the musicians, to be the liaison. Instead of we got the hard-ass imbeciles that got ocular rectum, and these species know it. That's why many of them have given up on humanity. Anyway, so the Dorsey, they grow to a maximum height of 0.5 meter, 1.5 feet tall. Wow. They have visited the Earth at least 250 times. They come from Cassiopeia, where they have 2 home planets. They eat other... Well, of course they do. They eat other alien races as well as humans. Well, I guess this would be the race to ask, well, what does human taste like? Now we know where that episode of The Twilight Zone came from. Their race is at least 4 billion years old, and they have been in a constant state of war with another alien species for 2 billion years. Do you think that they might have finally, maybe it come at some point in 2 billion years to say, hey, let's have a joint and let's put on some Led Zeppelin and let's just sit back and talk about this. Hey, you want a little wine? But apparently not. Last sighting on Earth, November 2001 in the Italian Alps. Maybe they like skiing. That would be kind of cool. This is the Magel, known to be a very peaceful race. They have 2 permanent bases somewhere in South America. They are nocturnal, do not interact with humans, and are described by other alien races as shy. They harvest insects and rodents by the many thousands on a monthly basis, reason unknown. At least 3 of them have been under Brazilian military custody for the past 12 years, just like the U.S. military has captured Bigfoot. Yes, keeping them prisoner. And apparently it's, yeah. Last sighting was near Oaxaca, Mexico in 2003. They are visited by their own kind every 20 years. The next visit was due around 2016. Wow. This is the Acart. They come from the constellation Sextans. One of their ships crashed outside of Brazil in 1996. 2 of its occupants are under U.S. custody, after having paid billions of dollars to the Brazilian government. They have the fastest ships of any known alien race. Last sighting, February 2002, near Brazil again. And again, folks, remember, let's say that this is all fiction. But, I can't help it, as I studied the Bible for 50 years, read the Quran, the Vedic. Those are all fiction as well. No proof. But yet, isn't it interesting how you gain something out of them? And I'm telling you, if this is someone's delightful imagination, I'd like to meet this person. This person would be a lot of fun to hang around with. Now here are the sons of bitches. These assholes are real assholes. If you ever see one, try to kill it. Kill it. Don't even try to communicate with. These are some bad mother, you got it. They have 2 home planets in the constellation Megagopai. They have the same average height as humans and are considered by many alien races as parasites. They visited Earth for the first time during the prehistoric period. Date unknown. Abduction of humans is carried out openly. They have the goal of colonizing Earth, terraforming. I'm telling you, people, I did the whole show on our planet is being terraformed. Humans got this crazy idea that we think that somehow we own this planet. I said this yesterday. We don't own shit. And we can't defend this planet. It's very obvious. We're in disclosure. They have the goal of colonizing Earth. That has not happened because of protection from other alien races, such as the one in the Council of Five. They are hermaphrodites, and their lifespan is 120 years. Isn't it odd? Why does 120 years show up in the Bible that God said that this was only how he's going to allow humans to live? They have colonized at least 26 planets. They have abducted at least 5,000 humans, males. They have visited the Earth at least 200 times. Last sighting, September 2006, near Nome, Alaska. Interesting caveat about Nome, Alaska. And you can check me out on this. It is by the FBI statistics, there are more missing persons reports with them never being found originating out of Nome, Alaska. There is a movie. Now, it is a movie, but it's called The Fourth Kind. And, in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, well, this is Close Encounters of the Fourth Kind. And what is so freaking weird is that you have this recording. Now watch it. Go and watch it. And what we find out at the end, these cats. In fact, it identifies itself as an ancient Sumerian god. If they've left, they're back. They're here. So let me continue on with this one. The Matri have been involved in several tragedies throughout human history. Some of the worst plagues were inflicted by them with the knowledge and agreement of the reptilians, who want the human population to never go over 8 billion. Now, folks, I have seen this in at least a dozen other books. This number has shown up repeatedly. And I don't think that all these cats suddenly decided to go back and travel in time and meet up, because many of them are dead. The reptilians have abducted female humans for thousands of years. Most of their hybrid offsprings are sent away to other planets that are being colonized. Some stay on Earth, where they become powerful members members infiltrating our society and our political power structures. Many women have reported being abducted, particularly in young ages, and being implanted. And many of them report being abducted and having the fetuses taken out of their bodies and never seen them again. It happens. It's real. Man, I didn't realize it was almost, okay, got time for one more. This is the Dries. Their height is around 2.5 meters, about 8 feet tall. They have a very complex structure of their skull. Visited Earth at least 20 times. They carry out human abductions, which they use for human reproduction. They have abducted at least 520 humans, males and females. They come from the third star in the constellation Cetus. They have 2 home planets and have colonized at least 40 planets with the help of slaves. 10 of those planets were taken with the use of force. They work together with 3 other races. They mostly eat animal protein-derived products. According to alien reports, they are not mentally/spiritually prepared to interact with most other races. That's disturbing. There are 2 home planets. Chemically composition is similar to Earth. They are supposed to reveal themselves to human in an open manner in 2022. Well, let's see, it's 2021. I'll pick up on this one on next week for sure. We're going to continue on because this is fun. I don't know about you. It certainly expands. This is the Lang race. They are a small species growing only up to 70 centimeters, fairies. They come from the 6th star in the constellation Coma. I think this is Berenice. They have 3 home planets, maybe 4, and have colonized at least 10 others. Wow. 70 centimeters. I mean, folks, that's, yeah. They were one of the first races to visit Earth. They were the race that started the stories about fairies. 2 alien races claim that they have abducted over 10 million humans throughout history. That number is highly disputed by 2 other races. They state that the number is much lower, and one race even made a statement to a Russian president saying that the race Lang has never abducted any human. Here I'm trying to figure out, let's say the average human female, let's go 100 pounds. If you're 70 centimeters, I mean, what is that, like about an inch? Maybe a little bit more? How the hell do you abduct someone? I'm trying to connect the dots. Their last sighting was in New Zealand in 2006, a group of 20 members. Interesting. This is the Schmad. They come from the planet Sof, constellation Batteray. Their ships have a conical shape. They resemble humans in appearance. According to one alien race, they only have 6 ships left. They colonized 20 planets. 18 of them were inhabited. They first visited Earth 2,500 years ago and are very interested in our religious beliefs. Someone asked me yesterday when I said that many of the off-worlders don't have a spiritual nature. What I'm talking about, they don't have a religious nature. When I'm reading, many of the races are much like us. They look inwardly. They contemplate their essence, their beings, their reasons for existence, the same thing that humans deal with. This is what I was talking about specifically. They are not hung up on a religion. In other words, that isn't their prime directive. That is what I meant by that. They are a race in decline, weakening according to other races. Okay, well, I guess we'll stop right there where we're going to pick up next week. I don't know. Did any of y'all find this interesting? I did. And like I said, even if it's just make-believe, but here's the problem. We're going to be going through this book. I got this one, and we're going to be going, I mean, when you think about it, folks, and then we're going to be going through this one, which is even more of an interesting story. If channeling exists, and if telekinesis, telepathy, other things exist, we know humans can do it, then obviously we cannot sit here and say, well, just because our telescopes haven't picked it up, there ain't no such thing. No. And the day that we collectively get out of that thinking is the day I believe that we're going to be welcomed. So there. Well, thank you, Shannon. We are going to keep on doing it. I'm going to try to get on tomorrow. Not making any promises, but we're going to continue on this. This is a good lesson, if anything else, just for general purposes of knowledge. Yeah. And who knows? Maybe one of these races that you begin to think about may contact you. Apparently, that's how they do. It seems like if you become aware of them, they become aware of you. ISB963 says, wow, there are some twisted ETs. Hey, yeah, I'm telling you they are. I got a feeling there are some ETs that know how to party. I'm telling you, they know how to party. And those are the ones I'm looking for, and those are the ones that are going to kind of really give you the real, scoop, because, hey, when you're sitting there partying with your ET pal, they're not thinking about eating you. At least we hope not, right? Okay, everyone. I hope you found this fun. I'm just reading it. See, Hans Epiphany says the same thing. I think that there is something to this. I really do. All right, folks. Well, thank you. Tune into the Steiger Perspective tonight over at Artist First. You'll enjoy it. And like I said, I'm going to try to get on tomorrow, but if not, I'll see you for sure on Monday. Hit the like button. Thank you very much. And have yourself, listen, this is a far out time to be alive. There's a lot of crap out there. I get it. But man, I'm going to tell you what, it is really kind of exciting if you're in this amusement park. And the knowledge to me is like a roller coaster. Giddy up. All right. Much love to all of you. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for allowing me to be part of your journey. You have made mine spectacular, and I just owe you all a debt of gratitude and thanksgiving. So thank you. Much love to you. Have favor. Go forth and prosper.